Hello and welcome to This Week in Bitcoin, brought to you by Relai Private. This week has been an exciting one because the spot Bitcoin ETFs have traded more or less for a week now, and we could already see the inflow of capital and especially the interest of all these investors into which ETF they're gonna choose. And there are, in my book, two winners and you could say one loser. The loser is going to be Grayscale, not only because they offer basically the highest fees, and even their CEO has been asked in an interview in Davos why they offer such a high fee, but also because you have seen the biggest outflow of shares in this ETF. Could be explained because Grayscale used to be the Bitcoin Trust. The GBTC ticker used to either trade at an incredible premium or at an incredible discount. There was a very much high volatility in there and never really aligned with the proper spot Bitcoin price. And it could be that a lot of these investors who would have been in the red for months, if not years at this point, now finally broke even and said, you know what, we're actually going to go out of this one, and pulling out their fund. At one point, you saw close to 750 million being pulled out on a daily basis. There was also, again, investors who would basically also put money into that fund. But so far, after a week, GBTC has been the one with the biggest trading in and out in terms of tracking how much investors actually invest into the fund, and definitely the one with the biggest outflow. On the other side, you had Blackrock, no surprise there, which is the biggest one in terms of capital inflow. And Blackrock is really interesting because they also proved that they are the biggest Bitcoin bull so far. And if we blend in this table here, you'll see that they actually created the same table we at Relai have been doing for a while now. Larry, if you're a secret follower, just send us a DM. Like, you know, we can collab, we can help you out. But in this table, they definitely show that Bitcoin has been the best performing asset in the past 10 years. This Bitcoin bull trend continued. Larry Fink was praising Bitcoin again in numerous interviews, and there was even a video which I guess they'll send to most of their salesmen and people out there to help educate their potential clients and people who are investing into these ETFs. And you really did see that they actually did their homework. They explained why Bitcoin is different and why it is an alternative for all of these investors. Throughout the entire week, all of these Bitcoin ETFs showed that they are really a force to be reckoned with. In total, they actually racked up 95% more trading volume than the entire newcomer class of 2023 last year. Been pretty incredible to see that there's such a big interest into these ETFs. They compared it all to gold when the gold ETFs happened, and it's massively bigger now. But that doesn't mean that everyone is actually on board with it, because we had Vanguard, who's apparently never going to make it because they actually blocked access for their clients to these ETFs in their accounts, meaning they could actually see that the ETFs exist, but they couldn't buy shares into them. And Vanguard has always been very anti-Bitcoin. Their founder, John Bogle, he actually was one of the biggest Bitcoin critics when he was still alive. Granted, he was also critic of ETFs back in the days. He was always pretty much a index investor, and he urged people to do the simple thing, very much conservative. And this is not shocking that we will actually see some pushback of some of the Wall Street giants. I mean, others sit in interviews in Davos and they basically throw little tantrums, right, Jamie Dimon? But you know, that's the story for another day. He just can't seem to get rid of Bitcoin in his head, and he always has to say something. Kind of reminds me of my little cousin. I mean, he's 6, Jamie Dimon is probably over 70. I don't know. Maybe there's something there, and Bitcoin just either changes you or attacks your ego. But it appears that Jamie just can't get over the hump that he didn't get on board with Bitcoin either soon enough, or he will probably get on board in the near future. Nevertheless, we have to deal with this pushback. It wouldn't be a fun time, right, if we wouldn't have the chance to actually clarify why Bitcoin is better, different, what people don't understand about it. And with that, you know, the week comes to an end, and we basically look forward to seeing the news next week. If you like this video, please leave us a comment, share it with your friends, and if you have suggestions, always send them in below. I'm looking forward to seeing you next week when I can say again what happened this week in Bitcoin.